About my living situation and how over the years I've taken classes, I'm just kind of like learning from the classes, and now I'm kind of taking it out in the real world and trying it out for a bit. So basically, my girlfriend and I live in a greenhouse. We rent a really beautiful place in Sunderland, Mass. It's off Falls River Road. It's a 75-acre vegetable farm.
Wow.
So spoke to some local farmers. It took quite a bit of time to find the right place. Full south-facing. We get sun all day until it goes down over the hill. It was an interesting interaction, speaking with farmers and kind of giving an idea on what we wanted to do. You know, we want to come in here temporarily for 9 months, build a greenhouse, and set up a little camp. So it was interesting. But this is looking over. It's hard to see, but right over these hills, we have a really pretty view. It was just snowing that day. We had a really pretty view of Mount Toby. So you guys all see Mount Toby. The shack in the back is a miter worker shack. So kind of ignore that. They don't use that anymore. But basically, starting with the greenhouse, we cleared up the land and we put our hoop basin. So basically, we just take those poles and pound them into ways. This is just a temporary setup for a hoop house. Currently, we're putting a little structure in there. These are set 2 feet on center. These are extra poles I have from the farm that I live on in New Hampshire full time. The greenhouse is 14 by 18. The little blue guy you see right there, you'll see another picture of him. His name is Blueberry. Blueberry's diesel bus that we have our bedroom in.
That's
We have
awesome.
a full-size bed. We have a wood stove. You can see a little smokestack over there. So Blueberry was an addition that we kind of started in, and now you'll see as the slides go on, we're a lot more in the greenhouse. So laying the plastic. This is a 60-foot sheet of 6 millimeter. There's different gauges for different solar gain and for kind of like long-term use. This plastic's hopefully good for about 4 years. There's a team of us putting this together as the slides go on, and it took 4 of us, and we assembled the greenhouse in a day. What we're doing here is called sheet mulching. So you can see right here, this is cardboard. And on top of that cardboard, we're just using recycled wood chips from like a wood chipper. We put about 8 inches down, and that just gives us a nice base. Like when you walk in there now, it's warm. The ground's dry. You know, all these wood chips dried out real nice now. You know, there's no weeds, nothing's encroaching. So that sheet mulching you actually do in your gardens. A lot of my gardens, we do that. If we don't have good soil, we just put some cardboard down, put some good soil, put some leaves in there, and we kind of start over, ground out. This is kind of what it looks like now. The glass is on the south side, so we get full sun. In a later slide, you'll see in this edition and this is like an access door one way, and on the tail end we have another door that enters right into the Blueberry there, the bus. The glass, if you can add it, you gain a lot more insulation with it. And it's nice because we can look out the window, right? We have a really nice view out of there. So that's quite a treat. This is a little strange, but it works out pretty nice. This little guy is just a little toilet setup I built. Basically, that bucket you see has like 3 to 4 inches of either leaves, pine needles, wood chips, whatever we have. You just do your thing, put some gloves on, you walk outside. We have about 150 feet back in the forest. We built a little compost area, and basically it's really okay. And there's a lot of groups of people using this type of system. So, you know, as long as you get comfortable just kind of doing your thing, going right out, cleaning it up, the greenhouse does not smell. There's no foul smell in the greenhouse. And this is something I learned in the last couple of years, and it works out great. In the greenhouse, this is an old wood stove my father welded as a kid. It's quite large, about the half size of this. So I got plenty of cooking space. You can see there. Right here, this is our toaster. We're constantly boiling water. I can cook you almost anything. The stove's a little tricky. We're running at about 900 degrees,
Wow.
but it's full bore in there. So say it's 0 degrees outside, it's 80 in there.
Wow.
So we're in t-shirts once we walk inside. So I mean, you can see how clear it is out the glass. It's pretty nice. Good friend of mine, Elliot, he came and spent the first dinner with us. This is a picture of our first dinner. It's kind of hard to see, but on the back side, you're going to see some hay bales. That's the north side. So hay bales actually has a better R rating than insulation in our walls. So it's hard to keep them dry, but in the greenhouse, obviously they're real dry. guest room, and when I'm alone, this is where I sleep, in a hammock, up high. Even when the stove goes out, it still stays about 50 degrees in there.
Wow.
So it's pretty nice. And being elevated, the heat's up there quite a bit. You see the light system. I have a small solar panel and 3 batteries. Those are fluorescent bulbs. They burn very little. Other than that, all we do is plug in my laptop to do homework. So that's my desk right there. That's where I'm doing my homework at night. But it's okay. And then that's kind of like what the set looks like. Like I say, we walk right out the bus into the greenhouse. We do just about everything in the greenhouse. We're not really in the bus too much. When Brittany's around, we sleep there. But other than that, we kind of get out. It's warm if the stove's going, but it's cold if the stove's not. It's just a little tin can, So, any questions about maybe just making a small setup like this? Am I just about out of time? Or no?
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Okay, cool.
You can take
Yep.
courses. What?
Yeah, so I was just gonna ask about like the weather, the winter weather. So it really holds up, like the plastic you have on there holds up with like the heavy snow.
Yeah, it does quite a bit. And this is about halfway through the melting
Evidence.
process for a big storm. I do have a snowplow because we have a 1,000-foot access road. We're kind of out in the woods. So I do plow this out. So this wall gets cleaned up. I leave about 10 inches just for like wind. The back side, I have a problem. I fixed it now, but after so many, because it does naturally slide off. If I get worried, I just take a broom inside and just kind of broom it, and it just slides right out. But on the north side, the snow got way deep, and it's not rolling off. So I went in there and started making a tunnel. I just shoveled my way in there just to have an alleyway, and the rest of the walls real high, but cleaned it out. It's holding up. It's holding up fine.
Wow.
In New Hampshire, we always take the plastic off, but here, since we're living there, we're not going to do that. So. Yep.
I have a question about the solar panels, since you have one.
Yep.
When the snow is on the solar panel, right, how do you clean it off? Because I wasn't sure if you could just scrape it off without hurting the solar panel, or because I've seen somebody else have it and it's covered in snow, and I'm like, I hope that's not heating their house because they're leaving the snow on it. So. Yeah,
you wouldn't get any gain if you left the snow on. So once we get up in the morning, I get up like 6 every morning, get the wood stoves going again. I go out and just broom everything off.
So the broom doesn't hurt the solar panel?
Not my panel. My panel is fairly inexpensive. My whole setup's like $1,200.
Okay.
Depending on the kits you get, some of them are more expensive. But my panel itself was only like $350. I'm planning on getting another one. It's about this size, but I'm trying to get another one, and that will be plenty of juice for what we're doing. But there's a lot of pieces. When you get into the solar, there's a lot of pieces to it. So definitely look at some kits.
Cool.
How long did it take you to set everything up?
It's pretty nice in there now, and I probably put in, like 1 or 2 afternoons after class a week. The initial push from when there's trees growing, because it's an old farm, so we kind of tucked it in on the forest line. There's trees growing, so my buddy and I went in there and harvested some small trees and just started building that day. In one day, we went from trees to plastic on the roof.
Wow.
And then the next week, a couple afternoons at night, Elliot and I put the walls in. And we did both walls in one night. And then from there, it's just kind of how much effort you want to put in. Inside our place now is kind of cozy. Got some shelving, got some things going. We're making a small grow box because I get my starter plants going every year in a greenhouse. So that's another project I haven't got to. But yes, Josh.
What inspired you to do this? It seems like kind of a crazy thing to do.
So in New Hampshire, I don't live off the grid, but we, like you yourselves, we do a lot of our own growing of everything, and the idea of staying local, using local, is always in my mind. And over the years at UMass, I've taken more classes on how to kind of live in a greenhouse. And once the pieces started going together, I was like, I don't need to be paying rent. I can go barter a piece of land and live off the land. And I'm an arborist, so I prune trees 30 hours a month for this farmer. It's like 1 or 2 afternoons a week, and that's my rent. And we just have a beautiful place. Basically, just supporting the short-term local lifestyle.
How do you support yourself?
How do I support myself? As in financially or food?
Yes.
Financially, I climb trees up in New Hampshire on the weekends. Yep. Yep.
Now, I know it gets really dark during the winter and all that, but have you had any experiences where you woke up at 5? Is that annoying? Having to wake up really early because the sun rises early and all that?
No, it's not a big deal at all. Yeah.
No?
When I'm alone, I prefer to be in the greenhouse. So once the sun's up, I'm out, right?
Oh.
But even when Brittany and I are in the bus, it's plenty dark. But we have curtains on our windows to offer a little more insulation. So yeah, I'm an early riser anyway. Just kind of like get going.
All right, guys. Nice job.
Yeah, thanks.